Everyone, another book today at Cindy Harper Speaks, and my color pink is going to go with the cover of the book. And this book I think you'll find to be very interesting. It's written and illustrated by fourth grade students of Mount Horeb Intermediate Center in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. And it's called One Day in the Life of Bubble Gum. A lot of people like chewing gum. So meet the authors: Anna Hitchman, Emma Glanzer, Riley Koval, Erica Weiner, and Lily Smith. I love it. Candy, candy, candy. Says I'm bored. This says sweet stuff. There once lived a piece of plain bubble gum who lived a very plain and boring life. Then one day his life changed. So see, here's the bubble gum and he's saying, I'm bored. He was sitting in the candy box next to a lollipop, like he always did, when a hand reached in and grabbed him. That tickles. Brr, it's cold outside my wrapper. It picked him up, took off his wrapper, and popped him into a little girl's mouth. The next thing the gum felt was teeth chomping down on him. It made him feel good to know that he was wanted. I love massages. Meanwhile, outside the mouth, the little girl and her mother were on their way to the park for a picnic. Hey, where are we going? When they reached the park, they chose to sit on a park bench. It was time to eat, so the little girl took the gum out of her mouth and stuck it under the bench. I can stick to anything. The gum waited patiently for over an hour, but the little girl didn't come back to get him. All he could do was stick there and watch feet go by him on the sidewalk. Your socks don't match. A park maintenance worker named Bob walked up to the bench and started to scrape off the paint. He scraped quick and hard under the bench and sent the gum flying onto the sidewalk. Why? A businessman walking in the park stepped on the gum and it stuck to the bottom of his shoe. Boy, you're in a hurry. He walked to the street, flagged down a taxi cab, and headed for the center of the city with the gum tagging along. Watch where you're driving. The taxi drove several miles and pulled up in front of a huge building. As the man stepped out of the taxi, the gum fell off his shoe and onto the sidewalk. Free at last. Just then, a small golden bird glided over the heads of the people on the sidewalk. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw the not-so-pink bubble gum. Beautiful bird. Thinking that the gum could be used to build her nest, she picked it up in her tiny little beak and flew off towards the park. I need a travel agent. As soon as she soared over the park, she saw the rest of her flock and heard her mate calling her. She opened her mouth to respond, and the gum fell to the ground. Where's my parachute? She dove to retrieve her find, but she was too late. A foraging squirrel saw the gum land and snatched it up in his furry front paws. The bird flew sadly back to her flock. Your paws tickle. The squirrel proudly held his prize in the air and took a nibble to see if it tasted as good as it smelled. Ouch, that hurt. Sitting in the grass and admiring the gum, The squirrel had caught the attention of a small but ornery dog named Smokey. I'll give you a peanut to set me free. Smokey barked at the squirrel. The squirrel ran away, and Smokey started to chase him, but stopped. Smokey saw the bubble gum that the squirrel had dropped. Nice puppy, good doggy. Smokey sniffed at the gum curiously. He bit it and started chewing. The gum stuck in his teeth. You need a breath mint. This gum is on an adventure, for sure. Smokey walked over to his owner and tried to bark. All that came out was a gurgle because of the gum. Get me out of here. Smokey's owner asked, what are you chewing on, Smokey? The owner opened Smokey's mouth, picked out the gum, and stuck it back under the bench. No, not back under here. The next day, the little girl and her mom came back to the park for a walk. The little girl wanted to rest, so they both sat on a newly painted bench. Where have I seen those shoes before? The little girl looked under the bench, and sure enough, the gum was still there. When her mother wasn't looking, she put the gum back in her mouth. That's more like it. That's what the bubble gum said. As she chewed, she thought to herself, hey, this gum tastes better than yesterday. I wonder how it got so good. What a life. So let's read the back. Kids are authors. It says the Kids Are Authors competition. So these students were in a competition. It was established in 1986 to encourage children and to become involved in the creative process of writing. Since then, thousands of children have written and illustrated books as participants in the Kids Are Authors competition. The winning books in the annual competition are published by Scholastic Incorporated and are distributed by Scholastic Book Fairs throughout the United States. And for more information, you can visit their website at www.scholasticbookfairs.com. Oh my, these kids wrote a very interesting book. The girl had the gum, she put it under the park bench, and then by a series of interesting events, the gum wound up back where it was. The girl put it back in her mouth, not knowing that it had been in a bird's mouth, a dog's mouth, a squirrel's paws. Woo, that gum had been through the ringer. I cringed to think of her chewing that gum, and she said it tasted better than ever. If you liked One Day in the Life of Bubblegum, please press like, and I'll see you next time at Cindy Harper Speaks. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.